What is people? Are you good? Sarah Essex, how are you? Can you hear me? L5. Flamingo. Bruce Lee. Matt B. Debs. What's been happening then? Well, there's been quite a few things going on with my name mentioned again today. Hey guys, hey Darren says gold licks. Crossy. Official bare knuckles is kicked in. Redman. Mark Bracknell. Jang D. Matt B. Chris White. Angie. Scottish Wanderer. What's happening, mate? You good? I've just been waiting for that content I've got about the murder of Derek Ferguson. It'll be released over the weekend. How are you, Cross? Are you good? Yes, Yaz. JJ. So we'll get straight into it. You've got to look at that situation, and you've got to look at the amount of situations them two individuals have had over the last 2 years. How many sit-downs have they had? How many comings together? How many views and how many subscriptions and how many clickbaits have they gained off them situations where they come together? Redman is stoned. Mick Murray's in. Graham Liverpool. Paul Fay. Alex Keown. Crossy. I'm good, bro. Just sick of all the little nuggets saying you turned on me when you haven't. When did the switch on you, Crossy? Yes, Darren, you all right? Everyone? Just be you. Always me. Innit? Fact. Dad, do you think it was for a setup? Yeah, well, the first thing that I noticed, someone sent me a post, and in that post, it had copy strikes for the One-Eyed Monsters YouTube, whatever. And at the top of that, you've got Darren G. And I'm looking at that email going, I've never had that email account. And I can't remember when I've sent this thing. So I'm looking at it straight away thinking, okay then. Atwood clickbaited me straight away, made a comment on the thing in public atmosphere instead of contacting me behind the scenes saying, hey Darren, Marvin's going to come down and do me. So it kicks in again, doesn't it? You know, the clickbaiting saga kicks in again. Even though they've plotted once again to have my YouTube site shut down, they're now trying to distance each other because they don't really know what's coming next. So let me predict the following circumstances that's going to happen between these two individuals who have been in numerous situations, who have clickbaited numerous times and have never really solved anything or been real enemies. Yeah, you've seen a little copyright strike here and a little warning there, but there's nothing really there to show the animosity that should be there, considering what they've both said about each other. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? From a logical point of view. Do you see me angle? So, what you're going to have, circumstances that are going to come up in the next week, this, You're going to have them two people coming together, apologising to each other and forgetting everything that's gone on in the last 2 years. But to me, that's them two saying, let's leave attacking the Darren alone and let's concentrate on us and get back on our flow. Which is sound. But let's bring it back to the beginning. Let's bring it back to, we don't even have to go back to the beginning. You know, you could see the attacks upon myself and upon Atwood. Was the attacks upon Atwood genuine? I never know. He's so slippy, it's unbelievable. But, you know, let's not forget the Cali affair. Let's not forget this woman that's attempted suicide at Atwood's property, who's then gone on to make allegations of sexual misconduct, not officially, publicly on social media. You know, you've got to bring all that back into the picture. Don't forget what's gone on because they've buried it. Strip it all back. Identify why this situation was created and who was on board with the whole situation before they started biting each other's back, before they started stabbing each other in the back. Let's not forget when all these individuals were on podcasts absolutely writing me off. Every single one of them. So don't get it twisted. It is nice to see. You know, I could have reacted, could have went out, could have doorstepped them, which I'm going to on a few of them. Could have doorstepped them with the wrong mindset. And what would have happened? I would have been arrested, placed in custody. I would have been given all the finger pointing. He's the knob. He's the one that... It's well better to sit back and let justice do its course in the way of karma, vibrations. Exactly what you give out is what you get back. If you're continuously stabbing people in the back, continuously harming people, whether physical or psychological, and you're sitting there thinking it doesn't happen back to you, you're wrong. You might sit there thinking you can troll and cause individuals psychological harm and shut businesses down and do stuff like that. But in the wider sense of things, on the bigger picture, on the broader sense of mind, that comes right back to you. Mightn't hit you directly, but it'll hit someone close to you. It'll affect you in some way, financially, physically, or psychologically. And this is what you're seeing now. You're seeing supposedly victim Sean Atwood being threatened by the same person that clickbaited with Lazar, the same person that clicked it with SnitchyBumbaClart, the same person that clickbaited on every opportunity he can. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's up to you how you judge this situation. Me, I'm sat where I'm always sat. Here in this chair, not involved. They've all attacked me and I attacked them back. They've worked as a group towards me. Don't get it twisted. Sean Atwood sort of tried to make amends, but his true colours kept and continue to shine through. So it is what it is. Let them do what they're doing. Ignore this clickbaiting episode. Sean Atwood will retract his copyright things. The other copyright with my name next to it is not mine. That is not my email account. It's definitely not me that's copywritten them. So as you can see, it's just a low line to put me in a bad light. Probably Atwood apologises to the monster. They see sense, and then the monster starts asking me for an apology or something, trying to bring that confrontation that sausage neck tried to put in place years ago when he was trying his hardest to get me and One-Eyed Monster in the same room, and when he got off, he switched. To me, that's the past. To me, that's experience. To me, that's my venture into the podcasting world. I've learned early instead of late, and it's always better early than late. I'm not stopping. I'm continuing. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to wave the white flag. I'm always going to be on YouTube. I'm always going to be trying to put me podcast together. You've seen the obstacles that get thrown at me. You've seen the distractions that's getting put in my place because others think they're the powerfulest out there. But just let me sit you back a little minute, people, and let me like try and help you understand who these shower of people are. You need to put them in groups. You've got to put them in groups because there's always been that little fracture. And that fracture begins with sausage neck and baldy-headed wraith. That's always been a little fracture there. So you've always had like two sides of the fence, if you like. And it's always been Atwood, Wraith, Geordie podcast. And then the other side, you've got sausage neck and all that type of individuals. And that's the way it was at the beginning. You know, that animosity from Atwood and sausage neck, Wraith, sausage neck, has always been there. It's always been a consistent factor in that little podcasting world. Before I even got interviewed, that was there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do my podcast, and what happens? I blow the field wide open, smash the gates in, make an opening for any Tom, Dick and Harry to come out of the shell and scream blue murder and get a platform, get a following, and get bigged up by fake rats. I came onto the scene with a powerful, emotional, true, deep, traumatic story. It needed releasing. Why did it need releasing? Because at that time, he had certain individuals around me, and they got into my mind. And if you understand what I was saying on the first podcast with Sausage Neck, where I'm at the end of my tether, I'm going to do something dangerous if someone doesn't help me, if someone doesn't intervene here. I weren't talking. You've only got to look at certain individuals that's being shot dead in Texas. At that time, that individuals was around me. That was my mindset. That's the channel I was taking. If I would have had a passport ready to go, I was on board. That was my mindset then. After me doing that, honest, pure, real, no ifs or buts, straight off the tongue, real life, real crime. You just had all Tom, Dick and Harry's pumping in, including the one-eyed monster, the one who was just hired Del Paula's life, the one who ended up becoming a victim to the Irish cartel, the one who ended up getting shot in Marbella and ended up snitching on the Scousers over in Marbella. He ends up back here. He gets himself involved in the double murder of two policewomen in Salford and Dale Cregan. He gets arrested on that investigation. He gets released without any charges, without any comeback. He's not harassed for the rest of his life like any other gangster will have been. Within a year of that, he's on a stage with police from the Met Force in London, hugging policewomen. How can you go from being under investigation for the killing of two women in Salford, police officers? It doesn't matter if you wasn't charged. It doesn't matter if you weren't convicted. The bottom line is when you're arrested in such an activity with such a group, you don't get left alone the way he did. Before you know it, he's on a stage. On this stage, he's hugging police. Before you know it, he's on number 10, standing outside Parliament's doorstep. Open your eyes, people. What more do you need to see? You don't get from A to B like that. No one does. Unless what? You can answer that question yourselves. Don't be scared to. And what have you had since? You had him following my footsteps. I didn't want to engage with him. I was telling Sausage Neck that he mixes with them rats that are trying to do me. They got done. They got bailed. But then he tries to steal my story. He tries to shut me down. He starts targeting me. He starts giving platforms to complete liars, SnitchyBumbaClart, heads I've never met in my life. He then starts patrolling Liverpool 5 area, looking for drug dealers who hate on me and giving them a platform to write me and my brothers off. He, Marvin, one-eyed monster, got called out twice. He never turned up. He continues to clickbait me, shut me down, and harm me behind the scenes without yous knowing. This is my angle. I've got nothing. I've got no business. I've got no car. I've got nothing. What you see is what you get. I've been living off the support of yous lot for a good year. That's it. I'm not involved in no criminal circles. That's why I'm not accepted into these groups of criminal networks. If you're not with A, you're not with B, you're by yourself, you're a lone wolf, and that's what you're looking at. Does my opinion account to yous? I don't give a shit. To me, it's how I feel. It's how I'm putting it out there, and I believe I'm speaking the truth in everything I put out there to yous. Let's get back onto the subject.